Good morning, fourth graders. We are going to start Unit 3 today, and we're going to jump right into division. And we're going to do dividing with remainders today. And so you will need a pencil and scratch paper. You're going to need a lot of space to work on, or your whiteboard. And workbook pages 137 all the way to 140 today. And I'm just going to warn you, this is a very tough concept for fourth graders. And so at the end of the lesson today, you might still be a little confused or a lot of confused, and that's okay. We're going to be working on this for a long time for the weeks to come, okay? You'll get better with more practice. All right, so we want to start with inverse operations. We talked a lot in our first unit about addition and subtraction and how they are opposites or inverses. And then we can say the same thing about multiplication and division. So we're going to apply this thinking right here today for for a lot of what we do. And so 4 times 5 is 20. We know that, but we can also say 20 divided by 5 will get us back to 4. And so we're going to use that thinking today to check our work and make sure that our division is correct. So let's start by showing the 4 different ways we're going to see division. And for the majority of it, this is today how we're going to look at division. So this says 12 divided by 4 equals 3. And so does this, this, and this. And we usually see this as fractions, but fractions mean division. Both the 2 in the middle, you see a fraction bar. This is our division symbol. And just like multiplication, we have multiple ways to show this operation. But we're going to stick mostly with the blue circle division symbol. All right, we do have some vocabulary to get us started. And so in Unit 2, we talked a lot about factors and products. Or not a lot, but we did talk some about it. We know that our product is the answer to a multiplication problem. And our 2 numbers we multiply together, we call factors. Well, really, we have those same things in a division problem. We have factors and products when we think of it as multiplication, but we give them different names in division. And so your answer in a division problem is actually written on the top of the symbol, and it's called the quotient. And then the number that we start with, the large number, is called the dividend. And the number of equal groups we want to break that into is called a divisor, the 4 in this case. Okay? And so that term equal groups is really, really important with division. We always want to think in terms of equal groups. And so these pictures can show us a little bit about what division really means. And so if you have 12 bottles on a table and you want to divide them into groups of 3, I see one group here, another group of 3 here, a third group of 3 there, and a fourth group here. And so I would say 12 divided by 3, or when you split 12 into equal groups of 3, you will get 4. And the inverse of that would be true as well. 3 times 4 will get you to 12. That same thing applies to tiles on a wall, right? I want to know how many rows, if I split my tiles into 3 rows, how many are going to be in each row? Well, here's row 1, 2, and 3, and each one has 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get the same thing, right? And the inverse is also 4, okay? And area, we know if we take our length and our width and we multiply them together, we're going to get the exact same answer, right? And so, or we're going to get what's in the middle. We call that our area in square feet. And so if you take your area and you divide it by one of your sides, you're going to get 4. Or you're going to get the same thing you got for the first 2. And now sometimes this doesn't work out. Sometimes we're not dealing with the easiest of numbers. Okay? In fact, oftentimes it won't work out like this, especially in today's problems. And so if you don't have the exact right amount, we're going to have something left over, and we call that the remainder. So if you have, for example, 14 juice boxes, and you want to put them in groups of 3, how many juice boxes will be left over? Well, we have 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, so we have 4 groups of 3. So our quotient is still 4. But we have these 2 that don't make a full group. And if you don't make a full group, that's going to be the leftover or the remainder. So we call that remainder 2, and we symbolize that by just putting R2. All right, let's start to get into some practice here. And we really want to figure out, keep thinking about how many equal groups of 2 can we pull out. But we can't pull out too many or too few. We got to be careful with that. Our remainder can never be more than a full group. So in other words, if we start with 19 divided by 2, we would say that, oh, I have 9 groups of 2. And you could even draw that out, right? You could draw out the picture of groups of 2, and you'd have 2. If you have 9 groups of 2, you're going to have 9 times 2 is 18. So I did the work over here. So 9 groups of 2. Our answer 9 goes on the top. And then we have to subtract those 18 away because those are full groups of 2. Okay? And then we're left with 1 left over. So you have 9 remainder 1. Right? So 9 remainder 1. And usually we write a capital R. Okay? So 50 divided by 7 now. Sometimes we might not get it exactly right the first time. We might say, well, I don't know 7 times what or how many groups of 7 you can pull out of 50. But I do have some numbers that I can work really well with. And so we're going to get in the habit of drawing a line down the side here, just like I did over here in the larger space. And we're going to say, okay, I have 50. I need to figure out how many groups of 7 I can pull out. I know my 5s really well, so I'm going to pull out 5 7s or 5 groups of 7. That's 35. Well, I need to take those 35 water bottles or whatever it happens to be out of my total because I have 5 groups of them. Well, I have 15 left over. I can pull out another couple groups, right? I can do one at a time, or I can see this and I could say, oh, I can pull out 2 more full groups of 7, and I'm going to subtract that 14, and I'm only going to have 1 left over. Okay? And so that's what we call 5 groups and 2 groups is going to be 7 total groups. So you got to add these 2 up. So you had 5 groups and 2 groups is 7 groups. And you have 1 left over that couldn't make a full group. And so you're going to say your answer is 7 with a remainder of 1. Okay. And so now the next step is to figure out how we can check this. They did number 6 for us. And they said 39 divided by 7 is really 5 with a remainder of 4. But you can check that by using the inverse. So you take your quotient, your answer, this 5, and you multiply it by your divisor, the smaller number compared to the 39, and you have to add your remainder. Just like they did here, 7 times 5 plus 4, and it will get you 39. That seems like a lot, but we're going to get a lot of practice with it today, okay? So let's do one more. We're going to try 27 divided by 6. And the goal is to, yes, be able to get it into one step, right? And so maybe what we say is sometimes we can have a number that's too big. So I might say, well, I know my 5. 6 times 5 is 30. Oh, wait, that's way too big. I can't pull out 30 if I only have 27. So I'm going to try 5. So I'm going to draw that line down the side. Sorry if it's confusing with 2 colors. So I have a 5 down the side. So I'm going to pull out 5 groups of 6. And you could even write 5 times 6 over here because that's what you're going to represent in here. So 5 6s or 5 times 6 is 30. Oop, and I just said that was going to be a mistake. So that's too much. So now I'm going to try 4. Well, if you use your charts or if you just know your facts, 4 times 6 is 24. And I'm going to subtract 27 minus 24 is 3. Well, I can't pull out any more groups of 6 because 3 is too small. That's my leftover. That's my remainder. So my answer is 4, remainder 3. And I would check that by saying, okay, my quotient or my answer is 4 times 6 plus my remainder is 3. Well, 4 times 6, that's 24. 24 plus 3 gets me back to 27. So I know that my answer must be correct. Okay? So you can pause the video now or wait till the end and work on some of these division problems. They all have remainders. Now, when we look at the next page, we're going to see very similar problems to what our quick practice or our warm-up was in Unit 2. And so we did a lot with multiplying with zeros, and we want to look at what happens when we divide by zeros. And we're going to notice the same thing. How many ever zeros we start with, that's how many we end with. If we have 3 to begin with, and we divide by 4, if it's 4,000 divided by 4, we have 3 in our answer. Well, if we started with 2, we're going to end with 2. If we started with 1, we're going to end with 1. So we can use that trick with zeros to really, really help us figure out the right amount of groups to pull out for, especially when we get into dividing larger numbers, right? And so if I just ignore this 0 right now and I think of 4 times something is going to get me to 32, right? And so I'm going to do the multiplication first, and then I'm going to go back and use the inverse. So 4 times what gets me to 32? Well, I know 4 times 8 is going to get me to 32, but I have a 0 here. And so 4 times 80 gets me to 32, or gets me to 320. So what I know about my inverse is that 320 divided by 4, well, that must be 80. Right? I can use that same idea here with number 16. What times 6, or 6 times what, gets me to 42? Well, I know 6 times 7 is 42, but I have a 0 here. So 6 times 70 is going to get me to 420. So 420 divided by 6 is going to get me to 70. Okay, so try and figure out how many ever zeros you start with. Be careful with this one. There's 2 zeros in it, so think about how many zeros you need here. Same thing here. I don't see any zeros. So how are you going to figure that out? You might need to pause now and go ahead and solve the rest of the problems on page, that would be 138. All right, so now we're going to start dividing with larger numbers. And as we get into this, we're going to do that same idea of what we just used with zeros. We're also going to use our idea of what we call partial quotients. And we're going to split up the equal groups into easier numbers, right? And here they knew for 23, they said, well, 300 sevens is going to be 2,100. Well, maybe you weren't able to come up with that on your own and say, oh, there's only 6 left over. They did this problem in one step. We don't have to do all our problems in one step. So watch what we can do for number 24. We have 643 divided by 8. Well, they took out 300, so maybe I'd take out 100. 100 eighths is 800. I can't take out 800. If I only have 643 water bottles, I can't subtract 800 of them. That's not enough. But I know my fives really well, so I'm going to work 50. Okay? Now I just need to think of my zeros trick. So 5 times 8 is 40. And I started with a 0, so I need another 0. Now I need to subtract that 400 because that's my 58s that I just pulled out. 4 and 243. Okay. 50, let's do that again. Ooh, that'd be 400. That's way too much. Well, I could pull out 10 eighths, but one thing I notice, I know my 2s really well too. If I pull out 20 eighths, that's going to be 160. And if I subtract that, now I have, 3. I'm going to make this 14 and borrow from the 2. So now I have 83 and nothing left here. Ooh, I see something. If I take out 10, I'm going to take out 10 more 8s. That's going to get me really close. And I subtract. I have 3 left over. So I did this in 3 steps. I took out 50 and then 20 and then 10. So I need to add those up and figure out how many total groups I took out. Well, 0, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. So my answer is really 80 with a remainder of 3. And we want to check that as well. Right? We want to check that by doing 80 times 8, so our answer times 8, and then add 3, and it works out, 643. We should always get what's in the middle. And so you might see this and say, well, we did this in 3 steps. The ultimate goal as you're practicing is to do this in 1 step and see right away that 88 is going to get you to 640, and then you'll have 3 left over. That's totally fine. Try to start 25 and maybe just start with 10 groups of 9 and keep pulling out 10 groups of 9 at a time. So we want you to finish 138 to 140. You're probably going to need a little help, so ask your teacher and then do the homework.